I don't like rats. So the only logical thing to do would be to record a commentary video at 2 a.m. about rats. Yep. And you see, it all started at the tender age of 7. Once I was 7 years old, and I lived in this house that was in a neighborhood that had a lot of rats. This was something we knew about when we moved in, and it was like, oh, too bad, you're gonna just have to like put down some traps and whatnot for them. But when I mean rats, I don't mean like tiny little mice or no, these were full-on rats. So one time, me and my sister are like on our swing set. We had one in the backyard. And as we are swinging, we look over. Oh, okay. So yeah, me and my sister are going down the slide on the swing set, and we're at the top of it, and we look over, and all of a sudden, there is just this rat. And this rat was like, in my mind, it looked like if there was a gentleman rat. You are rude. If there was like a gentleman rat or something with like a top hat and like a cane, and he was just sauntering, looking all cool, and like life's perfect, whatever. It's like, that's how I imagine this rat. He was just like shaking his little booty, like sauntering about. In reality, he was probably just like really fat and waddling, trying to get behind this fence. But in my mind, this was like, this rat owned the place, right? He knew what he was doing. So this fat and probably old rat is just sauntering. In my mind, this thing's like the size of a foot-long sandwich, which maybe I shouldn't compare him to food. That's probably not a great idea, but this was a big rat. And me and my sister, we just scream. We're like, ah, what are we gonna do? My sister's like 5, I'm 7. And we're like, we're gonna die. We gotta get away from this rat. And so we're like eyeing the rat. We're trying to figure out what on earth we should do. And we decide we just gotta run for it, because obviously this rat, big fat as he is, he's just gonna lunge towards us and like kill us or something, right? So we get like halfway down the slide and then strategically jump off and continue to run back towards our house. And like the screen door was over our like sliding glass door. So our mom could hear us screaming, and so she comes out and she's like, what is it? Is it a snake? And we just go, what? No! In my entire life, I've only ever seen 2 snakes, and we have lived in this, like, the same area for most of my life. So immediately I'm like, why would you think it's a snake? But anyway, we're like, no, it's a rat. And she has this look of relief on her face. It's just like, oh, okay, glad it's not anything worse. And I'm like, it's a rat. How can it not be worse? Like, okay, I get it. Maybe if it was like a rattlesnake or something, that might be concerning. But this is still a big deal. We thought we were gonna die, okay? But yeah, rats were pretty commonplace in the house we lived in. I remember one time just walking into our backyard, and we had like poison blocks that we would set out. The rats would eat them and like they'd die or something, right? But one time I just walk into my backyard. TNT time, what is this? Oh well, explosions are gonna happen. But I walked into my backyard one time, and there was just like this rat just dead in the middle of the grass, and it was just like, oh, that's fun. You see, my beef with rats doesn't just start there, okay? This has been oh, you can't jump from there. This is something that has continued throughout my life, and not just with rats, but with mice, because we moved from this house, right? It's like, oh, fantastic, I never have to deal with rats again. Nope, that's not true. In the new place we live, I need to stop doing that jump. In the new place we live, we have mice instead, because people got like horses and chickens and all sorts of stuff, and so like, you know, the grain attracts mice and whatever, you know, it's bound to happen. But it's like, oh no, I thought I was leaving this behind, but nope. Oh wait, oh, what? This TNT sucks. But we get to this new house, and you know, there's mice, whatever. A couple years go by. So at this point, I'm like 13 or whatever. I've had my little bit of beef with mice every now and again, but then there's a reason why I remember this story in particular. See, I was like getting out of the shower or something, heading over to the mirror, and all of a sudden, there is just this mouse just chilling there. He bing chilling just on the floor. He sees me, runs into the closet. My first question is, how did this mouse get into the bathroom? But second of all, how did it get out? Because I go and look at the closet, and it's just straight up gone. This mouse does not exist anymore. I'm kind of freaked out, whatever, but that's it, right? So what's up with this story? Well, you see, I'm 13, and I have a crush. And what do you do when you have a crush and you're 13? You try to impress your crush. And what's more impressive than the story of a mouse that just doesn't move. So this is basically how it went. We're all just like telling our stories of like what's happened during the week or something, right? And I want to be impressive. So I am like, oh guys, you won't believe this. So there was this mouse in my bathroom the other day, and like instead of running, it just like stayed there. It didn't move. But like I didn't get it off that smooth, and it was obvious that I was like lying and that this wasn't an actual story. I cannot speed bridge and talk at the same time. Hold on. I was wrong. It's not that I can't speed bridge and talk at the same time, it's that I can't speed bridge. See, I had a bit of a problem at that point where I just really wanted to impress my crush, and so I would like make tales more elaborate than they were. And it got to the point where I would tell stories that were true and they wouldn't necessarily sound real. I'm not sure if they could tell or not, but to me, it seemed that way. So like, okay, this doesn't relate to mice, but like, there was this time where I went ice fishing with some family, right? And if you've never gone ice fishing, how did I mess that up? If you've never gone ice fishing, you dig a hole in the ice and you put your pole down in there and you catch the fish like during the winter time or something, right? And we had this little tent set up over one of the holes. So I go in there where my cousins are at, and they're trying to catch a fish, and one of my cousins just goes, I wonder if they like Doritos. So he takes his ranch Doritos, and he puts them into the hole, and we see them like slowly start to sink down. And I kid you not, about 30 seconds later, my cousin caught a fish. True story. I was convinced that it must have been the Doritos. So I told the story one time, but my crush didn't seem impressed, and I think that's when I started getting the idea that, you know what, maybe lying isn't a good idea, even if it's just like exaggeration of tales. But yeah, obviously it's not a me problem. I blame it on the mouse. If the mouse had just done something more interesting, then I wouldn't have had to exaggerate the story, but the mouse was normal and therefore caused problems between me and my crush. It's the rat's fault. Mouse, whatever it is. Does it really matter? They're basically the same species. Though funnily enough, I don't have a beef with squirrels despite them being rodents. And I know that's just totally random, but I was just thinking of all the rodents and like, you know what? Like, squirrels aren't that bad. Squirrels are actually pretty good. And chipmunks. I also like chipmunks. And by chipmunks, I mean this little guy from Enchanted. But yeah, thankfully I learned to tell the truth at an earlier age, like middle school time. That's not a bad time to learn it. I don't feel like it's as consequential as like later in life. You see, my beef with mice and rats doesn't end there, because we got rid of the mice for a certain amount of time, but then recently we've had more mice come back, and it's been really annoying. Like every once in a while I see signs of them, you know, like I'll just see one scurry through the kitchen or something, and it's like, oh, that's fun. How lovely. But then something really spooky happened the other night, because I live in the basement in the house, like that's where my room is, and so I get a lot of spiders and stuff too, which that's a whole other story for another day. I didn't want to put two scary things into one video. That would just be too much, and I don't want people to avoid this video like people avoid their taxes, but I have these traps set out in front of my door to catch any spiders, and like on the inside too, to catch any spiders or any beetles or whatever that might decide to try and like cross the threshold. The other night I went out and I saw that one of the traps I had just placed had moved away from the wall. Like I had set it right against the wall and it had been moved out by like 2 or 3 inches, and I was like, hold up, I don't think any normal spider would have been able to do that. And these traps, okay, they're advertised as being for mice and spiders, but I was like, hold on, I'm pretty sure a mouse just pushed this away. If this trap is advertised for being for both, why is it smart enough to push it out of the way? And in all honesty, I was just really concerned, because I placed this trap like not even an hour ago, and it's like there was a mouse here, or either that or like a big hobo spider. Nice. What are you doing? Wait. Why? Wait, there's 2 of them. Is that a flag? Is that a frog? Is he building a 2D house? With a window. Oh no, that's a house. Why? I liked the one on the left. But yeah, I think that should about do it as for my mouse and rat stories. I don't like them. They're kind of annoying, and it's just like, do you have to live in the same house as me? Like, could you not? Could you not? Oh my gosh, I think the skeleton has personal beef with me. Don't shoot me. But yes, if you want to see more of this type of video, if you want me to talk about my beef with spiders, which is also a very real and terrifying thing, then let me know down below. But for now, that's me and rats. And yep, okay. Bye. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time.